woman died in 1924. Before she died, she left a warning. Nothing in this museum will ever change, not while her name stands above the door. 66 years later, someone tested that. They took 13 paintings off her walls in the middle of the night. There is a rumor, and in this case the rumor has a way of being confirmed by the facts, that no one who ever touched those paintings lived to tell where they are. Every one of them is dead. Coincidence? The frames still hang empty, waiting. 4 of the men who got close to these paintings would be dead within 18 months. But it begins with her. Isabella Stewart Gardner was not a curator. She was an obsessive. She spent decades in Europe buying masterworks, guided by instinct and by the certainty that she knew better than anyone what beauty was. Boston did not know what to make of her, a woman who spent a fortune on art when women were not supposed to spend at all, who hung her paintings her own way, answerable to no curator and no husband. In 1903, she opened Fenway Court, a Venetian palazzo she built in Boston, stone by stone. Not a gallery, a home. Every room was a composition, not a list of masterpieces, but a self-portrait she meant to outlast her, exactly as it was. She had a Vermeer, one of only 34 in the world. The concert is, to this day, the most valuable stolen object on Earth, and no one has seen it in 34 years. Rembrandt's only seascape. And when she died, she left a will. Nothing moves. Not a painting, not a chair, not a frame. If the museum changes anything, everything passes to Harvard. The art world had called her impossible, a woman who outbid the men who thought she had no business in the room, who hung Titian beside a stolen church window because her eye said so and never once explained herself. In death, she gave them no more say than she had in life. Some called it eccentric, but she did not need a curse. She had a will, and a will is enforceable, because when the paintings were stolen, by her own command, nothing could fill the spaces they left. The empty frames stayed, as if she had known. March 18th, 1990, night after St. Patrick's Day. 2 men in police uniforms. A disturbance report. The guard opened the door. They said there was a disturbance on the grounds. Calm, unhurried. Everything a real police call is supposed to look like. His name was Rick Aberth, 23 years old. The protocol said, never open without supervisor confirmation. He opened the door. One of them studied his face and said, "You look familiar. We have a warrant for you. Step out from behind the desk." The moment Aberth stepped away from that desk, he stepped away from the only alarm button in the building. Both guards handcuffed in the basement. Handcuffed to the pipes, heads wrapped in duct tape. And one of the thieves told them, "Don't worry, you'll be famous." The thieves had 81 minutes. The Vermeer cut from its frame. The Rembrandt seascape cut from its frame. A double portrait, an etching, 5 Degas sketches, a Manet. They made 2 trips to their car, carrying the canvases out into the dark like furniture. To cut a Rembrandt from its stretcher is to wound it. Conservators would later say some of the damage can never be undone. Whoever did this did not love these paintings. They only wanted them gone. What they took made no sense. They sawed 2 masterpieces out of their frames, brutal, clumsy, the work of men in a hurry. They walked past a Titian worth more than everything they carried out. They stopped to pry a bronze eagle off a flagpole, a Chinese beaker. Professionals would have known what to take. These men did not. 81 minutes, then gone. No alarm ever reached the police that night. No one saw them leave. The motion sensors, The fingerprints, the footprints, none of it pointed anywhere. The motion detector recorded every step that night, and it recorded something no one has ever explained. Footsteps in the blue room, where the Manet hung, on a night the thieves were never supposed to have been there at all. Because of what happened next. George Reisfelder, petty thief from Quincy. After the heist, his relatives noticed a painting on his bedroom wall, a man in a tall hat. Just like the stolen Manet. March 1991, Reisfelder found dead, intravenous cocaine overdose. The story in those circles, he was afraid of needles, had been his whole life. The painting on his wall was gone. 2 weeks later, Leonard de Muzio disappeared, body found in a trunk, shot. James Marks boasted he had access to the paintings, shot outside his home in Lynn. Robert Donati, suspected of planning the heist, had visited the museum years earlier to scope it out, stabbed outside his home, his house ransacked. 4 men, 18 months, all dead. The FBI agent who led this investigation for 22 years, Jeffrey Kelly, said the deaths had a chilling effect. The people who might have talked were in the ground. Carmelo Molino, mob associate, ran a repair shop in Dorchester, boasted to 2 FBI informants he would recover the paintings himself and claim the reward. Instead, caught in an FBI sting in 1999, died in prison 2005. Robert Gentile, Philadelphia mob. FBI found a list of the stolen Gardner works hidden in his shed. Cash, weapons. He denied everything. Through every arrest, every prison term. Died 2021. Rick Abath, the guard who opened the door, denied involvement until the end. Died 2024. Abath, Gentile, Molino, Marks, de Muzio, Reisfelder, Donati. Each of these deaths has an ordinary explanation. An overdose, a robbery gone wrong, a gangland hit in a city that had plenty. It is only when you line them up that something colder shows through. There is a rumor, there has always been a rumor, that something follows these paintings, that the woman who owned them left something behind that goes beyond the language of a will. Rumors are just stories, until you count the names. The reward stands at $10 million, no questions asked, never claimed. For 34 years the FBI has chased them, across Boston, across Philadelphia, into the families of dead men. In 2013, they announced they knew who had done it. It changed nothing. The men were beyond questioning. The paintings stayed gone. The museum is still open, the rooms exactly as she left them. Walk into the Dutch room today, and you can stand where the paintings hung, the empty frames still there, at eye level, by her command. A museum that refuses to forget, because the woman who built it forbade it to, waiting for paintings that may never return. 13 paintings, 34 years. Every person who ever knew where they were is dead. Was it a curse? She never said so, but then she didn't need to. Underpainting goes where the museum placard stops. If you want more of these stories, subscribe. Next time, the most famous suicide in the history of art and the evidence that someone else pulled the trigger.